So I want you to think about this. If you were Sean Payton, would you try and put the non-call behind you or use it as motivation?
It's already behind them. It's unlikely that the Coliseum is going to be full of Saint fans with official shirts on. So, I mean, I think it's over. You know, they had the whole offseason to deal with it, and you know, as you know, Coach says, there's plenty of other plays in the game that could have made the difference. So it's definitely.
Sharpe.
Yeah.
I'd be more concerned about the tight end if I was the Rams right now. And Jared Cook.
Okay.
Well, it's easy for Sean McVay to say that there were plenty of other calls because he was on the winning side.
True.
Try telling that to Sean Payton. But because the call was so egregious, they changed the rules. And I think the thing is that they talked about it so long. Sean Payton, I don't know if Sean has gotten over it. I don't know if he's talking about it, Coach, but I don't know if he's really gotten over it. He asked his owner to write a letter. She wrote a letter to the NFL.
Well, you've been in the big games,
yes.
Okay? Fortunately for you, you've been on the winning side.
Right.
Okay? Losing the Super Bowl is very, very difficult to get over. But this set of circumstances where you don't go because of a play, I would suggest that that's more difficult than losing the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I said the day after, it was the worst non-call in the history of this league because of the magnitude and the circumstance. And as I watch it again right now, it just gets worse by the viewing to
me. Even still.
Yeah. Nickel Roby-Coleman said yesterday, who was obviously in the middle of it, he was the culprit. And he fessed right up after the game, which sort of made it worse, you know, like for the Saints. Like he just said, I did it. Because I thought I was so beaten, I just had to do it. But it was so egregious that it's still hard. It's mind-boggling to watch that again and say, how did three refs within sort of striking distance, how could nobody reach for a flag?
Well, they've been talking about that since the play. I think we're 2 or 3 more days of it, and it's going to be put behind us. Now, we're going to be reminded throughout the year as you get a call or a non-call here, an OPI or DPI, and it's reviewed and it's not overturned or this happens. Because anytime you put a rule in like that, you've got these, quote, unintended consequences.
Right.
And you know,
by the way, you've been on that competition.
Yeah, I was on it for 15 years. Yeah. So you're going to have things that come up. That's why they put it in for a year, and we'll just see what happens. But
what's your gut feeling on it?
I think it stays in, but it's going to be modified. You know, we had some plays this weekend where, you know, defensive holding was called and DPI wasn't called just because they were concerned about going to review or not. Right. You know, you got all those things. You got OPI, DPI, you got picks on the line of scrimmage. None of those things have come up. So bottom line is this. It's going to have to be like that, I think, to have a play overturned, or the helmet's going to have to come off, or like everybody used to say back when, Mike Holmgren used to say this, if 50 guys in a bar think it's DPI, so call it, you know. So that's kind of where I think it's going. But a few more days of this. So, once we get the kickoff.
Just as a coach, are you okay that can now be reviewed?
Yes, but you better be very clear in your mind. The timeouts are so precious, and you better have a good feel for the way they're going to look at it. It has to be obvious, and you can't nitpick in the second half to try to get a first down because they're not going to overturn it.
So to me, the professional, the NFL DPI penalty is so penal because it's a spot foul. Mm-hmm. And I was watching a lot of college football, and you see kids every week, if they get beaten, they just grab and hold because it's only 15 yards. Right. What would you rather do? Give up a touchdown or a 15-yard penalty? Right. Well, sure, you're almost coached to just tackle the guy, right?
It comes up every year early in the offseason with the committee. They want to go to the college rule. Let's look at the college rule for a year. Let's see. Okay. And it's always shot down just because of that.
For that?
We just can't. We can't change it. But, it's a huge field position change now when that call is incorrect
or
there's not a call.
Yards,
And I always go back to this. It's the human element in the game. And if we just understand that as a premise, that they're going to make mistakes, and replay should be there to overturn the obvious mistakes, there are going to be mistakes in the game, or we don't have things to talk about like this.
I like the rule change when the turnover is involved. Was it a pick? Was it not a pick? Was it a fumble? Was it not a fumble? But when you start talking, that's a subject. See, a fumble or interception, that's really not subjective. PI is really like, I think he did it, and I threw the flag. Or So when you start doing that, you're opening up Pandora's box. And because the thing is that you get the Hail Mary at the end of the half, the end of the game, Fish. How are they going to, that's when you're like, okay, there's a lot of grabbing, there's a lot of holding going on. And somebody's going to lose a game because on a Hail Mary, they're going to throw that flag, and then you got to see what I'm going to say, see, this is what you asked for. You opened door A, but you didn't realize all what was behind door A.
Exactly. Now this is going to be a replay review. It's not a coach's challenge because it's the end of the half or end of the game. But yeah, and it has to be clear and obvious, so you're going to have to jerk somebody down. It'll be the first call in the history of the NFL where it was made and put the ball on the 1 yard line with no time left, and you extend the period. So you got all those different things to look at.
I'm okay if I can see clearly upon one review, I just need one replay, that they tackled the intended target of the Hail Mary in the end zone with no time left.
You're good.
Well, then okay, put it at the 1 yard line. I mean,
because of that, you're going to, as coaches, you're going to coach it different.
Right. Yes, you are.
Make sure you don't grab. Make sure you're in position. Right. Make sure you're back and moving forward towards the ball and batting the ball down. And don't catch all those things. It's going to be different. You saw some things this past weekend, enforcement with respect to replay. Even in the Saint game, I think, Sean was kind of, what are you doing? Well, there's a 10-second runoff if you got a running clock. Right. That was because of a play in their game 5 years ago. And so could you imagine a defender intercepting the ball and running around getting tackled, and then the opponent challenging it because he pushed off before he got it, and now it goes to review, and now the ball is rewarded it's incomplete, and it comes back, and now you got to run time, put more time back on, and what down is it? And there's a lot. Those are the unintended consequences that they.
Do you have any call in your career that still sticks in your craw where you look back and say, we really got robbed there? Is there one that you remember?
Yeah, it was a bizarre ending. It was end of a game against Baltimore in Tennessee, and we were running out of time.
Monday night game.
It was I think it was an afternoon. But anyway, Steve, we were running out of time. We didn't have tight ends, and he sneaks the ball in the end zone. But as we score, it's a hurry up, and the defense, the Ravens defense, is not set, and they're kind of jumping through the gaps to get set. And so the referee says, due to the magnitude of the play, I'll never forget this, we're going to have one untimed down.
Aha.
So we had an untimed down, didn't get in.
Yeah. I think that was a Monday night game, Fish. I think that was my last year in Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, you were there. I know that. You remember that.
Were you there?
And you were totally fine with the ruling.
So you stole another game?
Yeah. Well, they had 4 cracks to get it in, so we couldn't give them a 5th down.
Did they score on the play in question? Yes, they did.
No, time was
no,
out.
but I mean on the play we're talking about, they scored, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's great for Steve because he had the presence of mind just to sneak it because the clocks were time's rolling, and he just got it in, and then he didn't.
Was that the year you played in the playoffs?
Those
year after
that, yeah.
Because that year I was there covering that game. That was the most physical football game I ever witnessed. Was the Ray Lewis versus
divisional round playoff?
Oh, gosh.
Ever. Yeah. It was.
We had some.
It was blood and guts, man.
You're still getting massages for that.
There were battles in that game.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy to think you're still remembering those moments, though. There's always going to be one. Everyone
as you
one.
get older, you forget everything, but as coaches, we remember those things.
That one.
But you do remember. You remember more of the losses than you do the wins. I remember the Super Bowl wins are fine, but I remember the loss that we had to Jacksonville. You remember the losses way more.
You bring it up like every other day.
Because Skip, you never.
Mark Brunell. Way to go, Mark.
I remember dropping a touchdown against Buffalo that would have gave us against the Raiders that would have given us home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
The Raiders?
In 91,
Seriously?
We had to go to Buffalo. We were 12-4. They had a better conference record, and we lost 10-7.
91.
They went to the Super Bowl, and we didn't.
And you still talk?
Algie Crumpler dropped the ball on its side.
Really?
That's what makes you such a competitor. It's those moments that probably fueled you.
No,
for the
that's
rest
what
of
he
your
talks to
career.
his therapist about today. Right?
Fuels him to this day against
that.
this guy.
That and he wants to wear that watch.
Yeah. We've had a lot of watch talk on the
Pretty
show.
soon they gonna ban me from wearing a watch on the show. No hard objects on the show. Yeah, that's what they told me.
Okay.
We don't want to go there. Good stuff. So good to have you, Jeff. Appreciate you being here.
Good to see you.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.